Hello and good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is another day, and we were able to wake up this morning, and the Lord is getting us started on our way. I hope everything is well with you. We are back for another episode of reading through the Bible where we're taking it from Genesis to Revelation. And we are in Deuteronomy chapter 15 today, and so on. And the first chapter will be about the Sabbath years of release. And that is where we will pick up our reading for today. So again, if you have your Bibles with you, you have your notes. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And at the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lends aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner thou may exact it again, but that which is in thine brother's hand shall you release. Save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God gives thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, observe to do all the commandments which I command thee this day, for the Lord thy God bless thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you. If there be among you a poor man or of thy brethren within any of the gates in thy land which the Lord thy God gives thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thine hand from the poor brother. But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient of his need in that which he wants. Beware that there be not thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest not, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be a sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou put thy hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying that thou shalt open thine hands wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in the land. And if thy brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou send him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, out of the floor, out of thy winepress, and that wherewith the Lord thy God has blessed thee to give unto him. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this day. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loves thee in thine house, because it is well with him, then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be your servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. It shall seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he has been worth a double hired servant to thee, and serving thee 6 years, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all that thou doest. Hold on, guys. Let me put a little pause in here. Okay, my apologies about that. Offering the firstlings. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock thou shalt sanctify unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstlings of the sheep. Thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God year by year in the place which the Lord shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as it be the lame or blind, or have any little blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt eat it within the gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof, thou shalt pour it on the ground as water. The Passover. Observe the months of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and of the herd, and in the place which the Lord thy God chooses to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou not eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction, for thou came forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou came forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days. Neither shall there be anything of the flesh which thou sacrifice the first day at even remain at night until the morning. Thou shalt not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, but at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in there. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season, and thou came forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day shall be a solemn assembly for the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 days shalt thou number unto thee, being the number of the 7 weeks from the time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with a tribute of the freewill offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God according to as the Lord has blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God has chosen to put his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondsman in Egypt, and thou observe to do the statutes. Thou shalt observe the feast of tabernacles 7 days, after thou hast gathered in thine corn and thy wine. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levites, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee, and in all thy increase, in all the works of thy hands, therefore shall you surely rejoice. 3 times a year shall all the males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of the unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of the tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he gives unto thee. Judges and officers shall make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God gives throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with judgment. Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for the gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and perverts the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shall thou follow, and thou mayest live in the inheritance of the land which the Lord thy God gives thee. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image which the Lord thy God hates. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoriness for this is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. If there be found among you within any of the gates which the Lord thy God gives thee, a man or a woman that has wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, and transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or the moon or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it is true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel, thou shalt bring that man or that woman which has committed that wicked thing unto the gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with the stones till they die. At the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of one witness he shall not be put to death. And the hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being masters of controversy within thy gates, then thou shalt arise and get thee unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priests and the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee. According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that stands to minister thee there before the Lord, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away all the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and shall do no more presumptuously. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations there are about me, thou shalt in any wise set him a king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among the brethren shall thou set a king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But if he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses, for as much as the Lord has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he multiply greatly to himself silver or gold. And it shall be, when he sits upon the throne of the kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priest of the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of the law and the statutes, and to do them. That his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in the kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. All right. Please excuse the rasp this early in the morning. But that is the reading for today. And that takes us up to Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy 18, and that is where we will pick up on tomorrow. Egypt is coming soon. All this stuff will make perfect sense. All this stuff will make sense. I'm so excited. Okay. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye for now.